Hello everyone, still on vectors. We have said a lot about dot product. So today I want us to talk about cross product. But if you could remember when we started dot product, I told you that we have two forms of multiplication in vectors. The dot product will always yield to a scalar, while the cross product will yield to another vector. That is the difference between them. This is a vector, but the other one is always a scalar. So coming back to cross product, the result that you get, which is a vector, is always perpendicular to the two vectors. That's one property you should know. So if you have two vectors like this, maybe this is A and this is B. So the cross product between A and B will yield to another vector, which is maybe, let's call it C. It's going to be perpendicular to this one and perpendicular to the other one. Let me give you an instance. Look at my tablet here. Can you see the screen? So let's assume we have vector A and B on the screen like this. Then C here will be perpendicular. Can you see this marker? It is perpendicular to the screen. So it is what? Always coming outside. But it always depends on what vector you are multiplying with. Okay, this is exactly what I mean. If you take A, you cross it with B, is not necessarily the same as crossing B with C, because right hand rule will always help you to determine the direction of the cross product. For example, if I wish to cross A and B, then you have to position your hand on A first, then you fold this one going towards B, then you lift your thumb outside. Can you see that? My thumb is now outside the board. But what about if you want to cross B with A? Oh my God. So can you see that you have to make it like this, then you fold it towards A, but the thumb is now inside the board, which is going to be an opposite to the previous one. So A cross B is never equal to B cross A. But A cross B is equal to the negative version of B cross A. Exactly. So I have my note here. I don't want to miss anything. Let me see what I have for you today. Number one definition, you should know that the cross product of two vectors A and B is a vector, which is always perpendicular to both vectors A and B. What about the magnitude? For example, we have seen that this vector is perpendicular to these two other vectors, right? So what about if you want to find the length of this vector C? What do you do? All right. Remember this one. We got this one by crossing A and B. So let me show you. We got C by crossing A and B together. So what about if you want to find the length of C? You want to find how long it is. That is the magnitude. So the magnitude of that cross product can be of 10. Very simple, right? By taking the magnitude of vector A multiplied by the magnitude of vector B multiplied by the sine of an angle between them, because there is an angle between these two vectors, which means that you can use this formula to determine the angle between the two vectors. This is one interesting thing, because this can also give us the area of the parallelogram formed by these two vectors. How come, if you take this vector B, you mount it here, you copy it and mount it here. Then you copy this A, you mount it here. Can you see we have a parallelogram here? So the area of this parallelogram can also be obtained using this particular formula. Yes. So to find the area of this parallelogram, all you have to do is to cross A and B first, then you find the magnitude. And if you are looking for the area of a triangle, which is just half, then you take half of what? the magnitude of the cross product. So you can see that we can use this formula to determine the area of triangle as well as area of parallelogram. Very important. What else? Okay, if two vectors are parallel, then their cross product is 0. If A is parallel to B, then A cross B, let me write a condition here. If A is parallel to B, then A cross B will be equal to 0. How do we determine this? If two vectors are parallel, you cannot cross them. Two vectors like this and this, we say they are parallel, right? So you cannot form a parallelogram here. If you copy this one, you mount it on here, it is going to be like this. So you can never form a parallelogram using two parallel vectors. And likewise, if the two vectors are the same, yeah, for example, if you cross A and B, A and A, or B and B together, you know, it's like this one. Maybe if this is A, then this is also A. You cross them, you have to get 0 as well. Then there are certain other properties that you need to know, which is the distributive property. If you have A cross B plus C, all of these are vectors. Then this is the same thing as A cross B plus A cross C. So, which one is simpler here? I think simplifying this is much easier than this, because you can simply add two vectors together before you take the cross product. But if you like, you can distribute A cross B plus A cross C, and you have to get the same result. Then I told you that if you cross two the same vectors together, you have to get 0. Then if you take the magnitude of the cross product, this will always give you the area of parallelogram. I have told you this. All right, so now I would like to show you how to compute for the cross product. Very important. But you have to be familiar with determinant of a matrix. So if you have a vector A that has these components, A sub x, A sub y, and A sub z. Oh, another thing I forgot to tell you is, don't even think of two-dimensional vector. When talking about cross product, the first thing that should come into your mind is what? 3 components. Always, you cannot cross 2 components together. A vector with 2 components. It should always be 3 components, please. Then you have another vector B with these components, B sub x, B sub y, and B sub z. So how do we cross them? Remember, you can rewrite this one as what? A sub xi plus A sub y j, you know that? Ijk components. A sub z ijk, right? The same thing here. B is the same thing as bxi plus B sub yj and B sub zk. All right, so how do we cross them? A cross B is equal to the determinant. You have to find the determinant I, j, k. Then you should list the components for A. We have A sub x, A sub y, and A sub z here. Then B sub x, B sub y, and B sub z over here. So how do we find the determinant of 3 by 3 matrix? First of all, you should know that we have plus here, we have minus here, we have plus here. then you should take I. This is equal to I. Multiply by what? You close this, This column and this row, close them. You'll be left with 4 elements here. Find their determinant. This is going to be this times this. That is a sub y times b sub z. A sub y times b sub z. The minus this time that. That is a sub z times b sub y. You are done with this one. Then minus j, right? Minus j. Open a bracket, close this, close that. You still have a sub x, b sub z, a sub x times b sub z minus b sub x, a sub z, b sub x, all the same. Then last, you have k here. And you close this, you close that. You have a sub x, b sub y, a sub x, b sub y minus a sub y, b sub x, a sub y, b sub x. So this is your formula for cross product. For cross product. So let's take an example and see how we can evaluate it. Let's assume we have two matrices. Let's assume we have a vector A with these components 1, 2, 3. Then B with these components 4, 5, 6. What is A cross B? I'm going to find B cross A to show you that they are negative of each other. So to find this, you have to form your determinant I, J, K. You bring the components 1, 2, 3 here, 4, 5, 6 right here. The first step is to close this and that. You have your I. This is going to be 2 times 6, which is 12, minus this time this is 15, right? Plus minus J, multiplied by, you close this, you close that. 1 times 6 is 6, 4 times 3 is 12, you minus 12. Then lastly, plus K multiplied by, you close this and that. 1 times 5 is 5, minus 4 times 2 is 8. Then you simplify. What is 12 minus 15? This is going to be negative 3, right? So this is negative 3i. Then what about this? This is minus 6. 6 minus 12 minus 6 times this is plus 6j. Lastly, this minus this is minus 3. So we have minus 3k. If you want to like this, you can leave it like this. And if you so wish, you can break it into components form, which is minus 3, comma 6, comma minus 3. So this is what? The cross product between A and B. Now let us take the cross product between B and A just to show you they are negative of each other. So I'm going to do that here real quick. I, J, and K. This time around you have to list this one first. 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. You take I first, you close this, you close that. Can you see that? 5 times 3 is 15. This time this is 12. 15 minus 12 is 3, then times I. This is 3i. Then you move to the second one. Remember it has negative. You close this, you close that. This is going to be 4 times 3 is 12. Keep that in mind. Then 1 times 6 is 6, 12 minus 6 is 6, but we have negative here, so negative 6j. Then lastly, you close this, you close that. This time this is 8, this time this is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3, so we have plus 3k. This is what? B cross E. And finally, if you wish to write it in component form, this is 3, -6, 3. Where is the previous one? Can you see that? Once you negate this one, you multiply this by minus, it will surely give you this, because this times -1 will be -3. -6 times -1 will be +6. 3 times -1 will be -6. Therefore, A cross B is equal to -B cross A. Another thing, you can use this to find the angle between these two vectors. Because remember your formula. This is just an introductory class, please. Remember your formula. The formula stated that the magnitude of A cross B, what's this, is equal to the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B multiplied by the sine of an angle between them. So therefore, sine of an angle between them is equal to the magnitude of A cross B divided by the magnitude of A multiplied by the magnitude of B. Yes. The later you take sine inverse to find them. We have this already. So what is the magnitude? So I am adding an extra information. The magnitude of A cross B will be equal to the square root of this squared, -3 squared plus 6 squared plus -3 also squared. So let me see. This is 9, this is 36, this is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Just a moment. 18 plus 36, this is 54. So this is square root of 54. Now what about the magnitude of A? Let's find the magnitude of A. Magnitude of A, this is the square root of what? 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared. 9, this is 10, this is 14, this is square root of 14. Then what about the magnitude of B? Square root of 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared. 4 squared is 16, 6 squared is 36. I want to join them together, and 5 squared is 25. So we have 16 plus 25 plus 36. This is 54. I made a mistake. This is 25. So this is square root of 77. Square root of 77. So what should we do? To substitute into the formula, sine of theta, the angle between them, is equal to this magnitude. Where is it? Square root of 54 divided by magnitude of A is square root of 14 multiplied by square root of 77. This is what we need to compute. Let me see if my calculator can take the whole of this. We have square root of 54 divided by square root of 14 multiplied by square root of 77. Yes. Wow, I got 0.2238. This is what we have. Then you take sine inverse of both sides. Theta is equal to sine inverse of that value, 0.2238. All right, so let's see, what will this give us? Sine inverse of 0.2238. We have 12.9 degrees. So the angle between these two vectors is 12.9 degrees. So it means that you can use this formula to determine the angle between them. So this is just an introductory class. Subsequently, we're going to deal with so many problems under cross product.